Good morning, doctor and mates. We are group 2. We're gonna talk about Donald Trap based on the 10-item personality inventory. First of all, my name is Nong Yu. Let's focus on his background. Donald Trap, who was born on June 14, 1946, and he get bachelor degree from University of Pennsylvania in 1968. And he entered the 2016 U.S. presidential election in 2015 and was elected the 45th president in 2016, officially become the president in 2017. In same year, he is also titled by as 544th richest person in the world, publicated by Forbes. And lastly, in 2021, Donald Trump, officially stepped down as a president. So in this paper, we mainly use TIPI test as our main evaluation. TIPI, which made by Grossing and Swan in 2003, TIPI is to measure the dimension of 5-factor model in personality.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. I'm Muhammad Shazlan bin Murshirin. I'm holding matrix number BP 2111043. As you can guys see in the screen, I will be present about introduction and background. So generally there are 3 evaluation methods that we use in this assignment. The first one is previous features, second one is case studies, and lastly we also use personal opinion for this assignment. Alright, next, the standard mark for TPI. For extraversion, the standard mark is 4.44. For agreeableness, the standard mark is 5.23. After agreeableness, we have conscientiousness, which is the standard mark is 5.40. After that, emotional stability, the standard mark is 4.83. Next one is openness to experiences. The standard mark for that is 5.38.
Now let's talk about detailed information. For first, personality, extroversion and introversion. If someone is an extrovert, then he or she prefer to be an enthusiastic person or talkative. However, if he or she is an introvert, then he or she prefer to enjoy alone and reflective. So in this dimension, we found 2 evidence for each dimension. On first dimension, is Donald Trump an enthusiastic person? Based on BBC reports on January 23, 2021, he is still liked by Republicans, respected by party politicians, and viewed positively by nearly half of all Americans. Trump then spent 2 months promoting a prudent claim of voter fraud. It is not correct to discuss whether his policies is right or wrong, but we can still conclude that he is eager to interact with the public and promotes himself. The second evidence is a speech on January 20, 2070. He is committed to the people's cause on politics, that he will put America first. At the same time, he expressed his vision for the future with confidence. So we believe that he deserves 6 points on this dimension. For second dimension, the first one evidence is North California Republican Convention on June 7, 2021. Speaking at an electronics confession, Mr. Trump hints that he will return for president again in 2024, even if he didn't directly say what he wants. And the second evidence is UN General Assembly in September 26, 2018. Trump used his speech to the UN General Assembly to condemn his stance on China. During the Duhuang meeting, Trump made it clear that the world trading system needed to be changed. For example, since USA is the only country in the world that plays by the rule, while other countries don't. Especially since China came in and the USA, they almost lost 16,000 factories. So based on the evidence above, we think his score is 2 points and 6 points. After reversing the sixth dimension, his final average score is 6. Okay, so let's focus on agreeableness and disagreeableness. Both of them reflect individual difference in the general preoccupation with social harmony. Agreeableness people value getting along with others. They are usually considerate, kind, trusting, trustworthy, helpful, and they are willing to compromise with others. They are usually optimistic about their own personality. In contrast, disagreeableness people with unlikable personality often put self-interest above getting along with others, and they don't care for others' well-being. Sometimes their suspicion of other people's motive makes them suspicious, unfriendly, and uncooperative. Same, we found 2 evidence for each dimension. For first dimension, here are 2 evidence. Speaking at the rally, Trump highlighted the 2020 election. He said, "I think it's disgraceful." And Trump said in an interview with Josh Dougherty of the Washington Post, he said, "I keep asking, why isn't she doing something? Why isn't Nancy Pelosi doing something?" So we can see whether for egoistic, for political reason, Trump attracting others in various interviews and calling on others to join his attack and trying to achieve the results he wants. However, he had no particularly violent words or action. So for the first dimension, we unanimously rate him as 5 points. Now let's focus on the sixth dimension. We can look at his reaction to what he did during COVID-19. Since before the outbreak, President Trump has assured the public that it will end well. When the number of confirmed cases rose to 10 billion, Trump floated the summer virus death theory, suggesting that the virus would largely disappear during the summer as the temperature rose. Then declared the American economy is better than ever. It said the USA is doing well in novel COVID-19 test. He claims, however, have a little credibility. His behavior has also led to the rampant epidemic in the USA, from which we can learn that Trump doesn't put people's safety first and doesn't take enough correct measure to avoid damage to people's property and lives. But at the level of following people's freedom is entirely respectful and caring. Even during the pandemic, he did defend the privileges and the freedom of American citizens enshrined in the Bill of Rights. So for the sixth dimension, we rated him as a 4 point. So all in all, in this personality, agreeableness and disagreeableness, after reversing the dimension, his final average score is 3.5.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. I am Rafiatul Kamilah binti Ruslan. I will present about constitutiveness and being disorganized. The meticulous and irregular point is used to describe the trend of being meticulous and orderly in all aspects of one's life. There are two main dimensions. The first is trustworthy, self-discipline, and the second is disorganized and careless. The dictionary defines the nature of accuracy as one to perform a task or responsibility well and diligently. It refers to those who are wisely focused on their task. While irregular and careless, the individual is lazy in doing his job and does not care about his attitude of responsibility towards something. For the first dimension, dependable. According to the news source in 2020, Donald Trump is an unreliable person. Kamala Harris, the U.S. Vice President candidate from the Democrat Party, said that I will not trust Donald Trump. He said that he would only feel confident in the effectiveness of a vaccine if someone who could be trusted also believed in it. Donald Trump said the possibility that a vaccine might be ready ahead of the U.S. on November 2020. So in this situation, we can give him 2 points. Next, for the second dimension is careless. According to the news source in 2020, Donald Trump is a careless man. According to rival president candidates, the Democrat Party condemned the airstrike that killed Iran military commander Qasem Soleimani, saying Donald Trump's decision was careless and could cause the United States to plunge into another war. So it is reasonable that we give 5 points in this dimension. Based on all evidence, after reversing the mark of the second dimension, we evaluate his final score 2 and 3. The average score is 2.5. This means Donald Trump is not a dependable person. It is a common thing for him to plan some meaningless stuff, and there are many officials in the USA who identified that he is always disorganized. Most people do not trust him even though he made a speech as a president. Thank you.
So I will continue the presentation about emotional stability and neuroticism. So what is emotional stability? For you guys' information, emotional stability is a fundamental personality trait that has to do with being even-tempered, particularly in order to face challenge and threat. Next, what is neuroticism? Neuroticism refers to the trait of negative thinking. Those who possess this trait at an extreme level will initially feel gloom, fear, and anxiety. Due to this factor, the person who in this group are unable to think logically. So there are a main word to evaluate emotional stability and neuroticism broad term, which is calm, emotional stable, and anxious. The first dimension, calm and emotional stable. Here is the news that we use to evaluate. According to the Forbes magazine, Trump once said, "The most beautiful thing of me is I'm so rich." that action were very unpopular of the entire USA, and various criticism of him spread on social media. However, when he was interviewed and witnessed by millions of people, he looks like calm, answering one by one the question that poses. That calm poses prove that President Donald Trump was very far from word neuroticism. In one study said that Donald Trump was rumored to have a calmness that is very rarely possessed by any president, or in short, by any people in the world. For the second dimension, is Donald Trump anxious and easily upset? Based on BBC News that reported on 5 of February 2017, Donald Trump made plans to buy mini estate that near Aberdeen, Scotland, aimed to converting near those to a luxury golf resort. To make his plan successful, Donald Trump and farm owner, which is Tom Griffin, sat down to discuss the deal at the Cock and Bull restaurant. During that discussion period, Tom Griffin remembered one word about Donald Trump, which is never enough. Just because of that word, Tom Griffin at first rejected Trump's offer. But by not being disappointed and not engaged in negotiation, Donald Trump managed to convenience and execute the transaction smoothly. Referring to that situation, we believe that Donald Trump is not an anxious person, and we have enough evidence that he can get 6 points of this dimension. This is because Trump's personality is indeed extreme by any standard and extremely rare for a presidential candidate. In short, there are 2 points in the first dimension for anxiety and 6 points for the second dimension, which is calm and emotionally stable. After referring the score, his final score is 6 and 6. So the average score is 6. With this estimate, we as a group agree that Donald Trump tend to be emotionally equal and do not experience much of anxiety and sadness. Despite being strongly criticized, he was very professional in being US president leader that know almost all over the world.
Hello doctor and my fellow friends. My name is Jacqueline Julina Anak Julius Bijay with the matrix number BP21110256. So I'm going to discuss about the last traits, which is openness to experiences and close-mindedness. The first evidence is this recall chance to construct the world and demands for a complete and total shutdown of Muslim entering the United States until our country representative can figure out what actually is going on. So the second evidence is conservatism, which is the sense of honoring tradition to make America great again, as Trump's campaign slogan stated, is another attribute to low openness. So the score is 3. In the conclusion, the 10-item personality inventory helps us to understand more about how Donald Trump is. So, thought analysis of evidence offers us undoubtable data to give conclusions. So, below is the detail of the score. Extraversions, the average is 6. Agreeables, the average is 3.5. Consciousness, the average is 2.5. Emotional stability, the average is 6. Openness to experience, the average is 3. So that's all from our group. Thank you.